Hi there. When I did my last video of the dyed and turned oak platter, I used my coal jaws with these extensions that I made for them. Harold asked me if I would do a video showing how I did these extensions, so that's what I'm going to work on today. Before I do, I have an amusing story to tell you, or at least I think it was amusing. A few days ago I was talking with my friend Gail on the telephone. She's married to my friend Phil. And she said to me, "Gord, I hear your voice in my bedroom more often than I do my husband's." I said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, when Phil goes to bed, he likes to take his laptop and watch your videos." So I just want to say, Phil, if you're watching this, good night, Gail. I know I'm going to hear about that. Anyway, today we'll be doing these extensions. Stick around. One little tip I'd like to offer. Coal jaws have this, I believe it's aluminum plate, and while they're very smooth, I've actually had occasion to put a bowl on there and have it scratched by that. So I've taken duct tape and put it across the plates, and it's helped quite a lot. Now, it's not normal duct tape. I've had duct tape from the big box stores that are just crap, barely stick to themselves. I get this from Lee Valley. It's really good, and it sticks. If you stick it to itself, the glued faces together, you're not going to get it apart. And it's very difficult to take off most other things. So that's just a tip. It helps a lot with reducing the scratches on the face of the bowls. I've already made a number of these extensions for the coal jaws, but I've never gone to the trouble of trying to make one as large as I can. So I might as well do that now and have another one for later. I've put a straight edge, it's fairly thin, across the bedways so I can measure from the top of that to the bottom of the coal jaw. And that looks to be 2 1/2 inch, almost exactly. So if I take that 2 1/2 inch and have that much space beneath, I should be all right. So that's the size I'm going to shoot for today. I want the extension to be 2 1/2 inches below the bottom of this plate. So the first thing I'll do is draw a line 2 1/2 inches from the bottom across here. Now I'll find the center of that line. It's 11 1/16 inch wide, so 5 17 32nds. Doesn't have to be exact, but I like to be as close as possible. Now the top of this is right here. Seven 3/16 from the bottom. Again at 5 17 32nds. And it's from the point there that I'll be drawing an arc. I want the arc to be as close as possible to the bottom. Now when I put this on here, try to be sure that I'm somewhat equal. I'll put my 2 straight edges across here. And all I really care about is that I'm inside the edge of the plywood. So that'll work just fine. Now what I have to do is take it to the bandsaw, cut out there, I'll true it up on the lathe. While I'm here, I will mark the spots for the screws that are going to hold this on. I've used the 7th one from the bottom on the others, so I'll just stay with that. Now when I drill the holes, I want to drill a larger hole first to accommodate the cap of the cap screw. And that's going to be at 19/32 of an inch. And then below that I'll put a through hole 15/64 of an inch. I'll have to put these marks on here so I know where to cut it. So the first thing I'll do is cut out this pie shape. I'm going to do one thing with these extensions that I have not done with the other ones. This one's a little longer, sticking out a little further. So I'm going to use this hole here for a little additional support. And I'm going to cut the wood off right here because I do not want to use this one. I'm cutting the 4 pieces of plywood to size. With the miter gauge set to 45 degrees, now I will cut the wedges. Now I'm using the bandsaw to cut the arc. I'll stay slightly outside the line and then clean it up on the disc sander. I'm drilling the recesses to hide the heads of the cap screws. And now the through holes with a 15/64 inch bit. Alright, now with the first one on here, I can use this one as a template to mark out the next 3 for the holes, get everything perfectly done, and that'll be my next step. All 4 are fitting on here nicely now. They're not perfect. You can see there's a little bit higher here than it is on the next one all the way around. So I've drawn a pencil line and I'm just going to trim it down to that. Definitely comes closer to the beds than the others did. Now I just have to make another piece on here to hold whatever platters or bowls I want to put in this. What I want to do on each of these now is put a strip on, like I've done on the old one, about 1 inch wide. To do that, I'm going to scribe a line around the outside . I'll take this, cut it out on the bandsaw. Then I'll scribe a line about 1 inch wide all the way around. I'll glue that on the front of this. Then later, after the glue dries, I'll use my spindle sander to true it up with this one. And once it's put on the lathe, then I will turn the inside like this. Now I'm going to scribe a line 1 inch from the outside of that curve. I will cut this out on this side of the line. It doesn't have to be terribly accurate. I'll just mark this so I know where to cut it off. I'll cut this off on the bandsaw now. Once the glue dries, I'll take this and true this edge up with this one. Then when all four are finished, I'll true up the inside on the lathe. I have all four of these pieces cut out now, and it's just a matter of gluing them to the wedges. And I will let them dry for an hour or so and take them to the disc sander to clean up the outside edge. I have to make sure that the outside edge slightly overhangs the bottom wedge piece so that I can true it up on the disc sander. That one's ready to set aside, and I can start on the next three. With the glue set, I'm now ready to sand this off on the disc sander. I've attached a small piece of two-sided tape, and I'm going to use that to hold a piece of plywood on there so that it's the same level, and I can turn this over this way, have it ready to be sanded, and I can see when I'm getting close to the wedge. And with that, the outside is trued up nicely. I'll take this off, put it on the next one. When all four are finished, I'll put them on the lathe, and then I will true up and hollow the inside of this on the lathe. The four wedges are mounted on the coal jaws now, and I'm ready to turn the inside. Before I do, a word about safety. I'm going to be turning this at 1250 RPM. The coal jaws are only rated for 600. So please, if you don't think it's safe, don't do it because I'm doing it. I don't want you to have an accident sometime down the road and say, well, Gord did it, so it must have been safe. I do it because I've got confidence and I've done it before, have no problem, but I have to also admit anything can happen. I could have a problem today, you might see an accident take place. So please, one more time, if you don't think it's safe, don't do it. I watch wood turners and woodworkers on YouTube all the time doing things that make me shudder. I wouldn't even think of doing them. So, one last time, if you don't think it's safe, don't do it. Now I want to clean up this, make that hollowed a little bit, and then we'll take a look at the finished product. That brings us to the end of making the extension jaws for coal jaws. Harold asked for it, so I hope he enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed it too. It's not that difficult. Anyone with a little bit of woodworking and wood turning knowledge should be able to put one of these together. You may notice I've written down, it's approximately 12 3/4 inches. That's the minimum that I can squeeze down inside the hollow area. The 13 7/8 is the maximum I can open this up and still get something in past the corners here. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this. Be safe in your shop. Thanks for watching.